Welcome, jewelers. Welcome all to another episode here of the Jewelers Podcast. My name's Mega, and I'm back hosting the ship here today. We had Agentic hosting last week, and it was wonderful. I was sadly unable to join. This week, we do have another missing member. Squanch is unable to join us. He's out on the shore of Puerto Rico just surfing it up. So he's going to enjoy the beautiful weather out there. We do have Dags and Agentic State again here today. How you doing, Dags?
I'm doing all right. I'm not out there touching grass on the beach like Squanchy, but we're having a good day here.
Yeah, he's living the dream out there. So he's going to take this one off. But good to hear you're doing well. Agentic, how are you today?
Yeah, as you know, same here. Dags is still in Texas as of right now. We're not probably going to go outside much today. It's like going to be 103. So
Sheesh.
congrats to Squanch for getting the fuck out of here before summer.
You want to come swimming?
Dude, I'm down.
Let's do it after the podcast.
At the pod.
Yeah, dude, that Texas heat is no joke.
Dude, no kidding. We're at we may break the record for the most triple-digit days in June in the DFW area. We are at 10, I believe, and the record is 13. So it's been a pretty bad, late spring, early summer.
I hear you, man. Out here in Ohio, dude, we've had some 90s. I mean, mid 90s for us is like unbearable, and in all honesty. So you guys are some true troopers down there in Texas, but summer is among us, and so is crypto summer, and it's not as hot as a lot of us were expecting. We'll go over the state of Harmony and everything as far as what DFK plans to do with their chain, with their game overall. But during these tough times, we did sadly have a passing in the community, a wonderful member of the DFK and crypto space overall. War King has passed away in an accident, and we wanted to offer our condolences, give a brief moment of silence, and also if you guys could have the ability to help out their family. His sister put a fundraiser here for War King, and anything I'm sure would be much appreciated for them and their family. We'll do a brief moment of silence here for War King as well. All right, so as you guys know, I mean, a lot of the talk as far as Harmony goes currently right now is this bridging attack, and the scope of the project is in question. A lot has gone on in the last 24 hours, in all honesty. It was a Friday. A lot of you were probably working, and you might not even have all the information from it. So we're going to do our best to try to go over everything that has occurred, go over especially what you came for as far as DFK and what their plan is going to be in. Just another thing before we hop into that, just want to make sure everyone is taking care of each other. You know, everyone's going through this. Everyone who's in the crypto space and is invested in these games, you know, DFK, Cosmic Universe, whatever it is on Harmony Chain, we're all in this together in essence. You know, we all love the games we're invested in and are hoping to see the best from these projects. But you know, keep an eye on your friends and your brothers and sisters in the community. If you see anyone having a hard time, you know, it never hurts to just open the DMs and have a chat, talk things through. Everyone in essence is in the same boat here and struggling with a lot of the same things. We have real lives, you know, despite this being the metaverse. Everyone's living and fighting their own battles. So, you know, keep that in mind when you're talking to the community. Try to be extra sensitive if possible, and just help a brother out when you can. But getting into, I guess, the negative news here as far as Harmony goes, we mentioned a bridging attack. Overall, just a lot of negativity in the space. You know, a lot of projects seem to be potentially moving off the Harmony chain. And before the podcast here, I asked a question to these two, and I said, you know, Harmony, I believe you mentioned the stat, Agentic, that 90% of the transactions are from DFK.
Yeah.
So
Yes, and the last AMA, Frisky, I believe, did indicate that over 90% of the transactions that occur on Harmony are in DFK.
Which is absolutely insane. But it also makes sense. You know, DFK is one of the only projects that has a lot of utility. You know what I mean? I mean, there's other projects doing great things. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things you can actually do with your NFTs, your heroes in DFK. You can quest, you know, so that's where a lot of those transactions come from, and a lot of those projects haven't gotten to that point yet on Harmony. So that's not to say that DFK is always going to be running 90% of transactions. I think Harmony is still in the building stage. You know, they're still growing very strongly. You know, this is a big hindrance. We'll have to see how they react. But my question here coming from this is the fate of Harmony lying in the hands of DFK? Do we think if we see DFK choose to up and leave completely from Harmony and move Serendel to another chain or however they do it, is Harmony dead?
Yeah, I guess I'll start off here. So you know, man, it right now DFK and Harmony are tied at the hip. You know, if DFK left Harmony, Harmony would be in a lot of shit. I think. I don't know. It could become one of these zombie chains just because DFK is. I mean, right now DFK itself, I think, is bigger than Harmony. A lot of people only got on Harmony for DFK. And also DFK is multi-chain, so it can exist, you know, in another ecosystem. But this is not good for DFK or for Harmony. The other projects are going to be very, very timid to build on Harmony, to come on Harmony because of this bridge exploit. And, you know, nobody wants to put their millions of dollars of assets or, you know, big money on a platform that doesn't have, you know, proper security. That these bridges, you know, to any chain have been suspect to exploit. Like, you know, it happens all the time. You know, chains bridges to Ethereum all get exploited. You know, was it Ronin? You remember that back? You know,
Mm-hmm.
that 20-something million dollar hack. But the problem is that this hack, it caused massive unpegging of wrapped assets on Harmony chain. So, for example, I lost $700 out of my, you know, 1 ETH gardens because the pegging of, you know, 1 ETH to AVAX, which I converted to, the price of 1 ETH was not 1 Ethereum. It was, you know, whatever, 50%, 60% of what actual Ethereum was. So Harmony, after the hack, didn't have the collateral to back up their wrapped assets, causing a lot of people in the space to lose money. And a lot of people are not happy about that, and they're going to be suspect to put their assets on the chain. So I don't know. I know the team has prepared with snapshots to possibly move the game off Harmony. Um, you know, that would take some time. I don't know if it would, because they have to weigh like how much momentum would this stop. You know, our user base, people playing, to get set up on another chain, and then, you know, how advantageous it would be to be on that new chain. What I think they could do is they could develop all the things we kind of got going on in Serendale on Crystal Vale, and then have everybody operating in Crystal Vale, doing quests, doing, you know, mini games, dueling, whatever, and then, you know, move Serendale to another chain. I think this would be logistically, I think, the smoothest transaction if they wanted to actually decide to move off Harmony. You know, good opportunity, as you know, Squanch mentioned in the last podcast. Maybe they can move Serendale onto layer 2. You know, that would that could be something interesting and give them an opportunity to do that. I don't know. It's not. This is not good. I'm just gonna be upfront. I was so suspect that I pulled all my money from the gardens, um, and converted it to AVAX just because I worry about the chain. But you got any thoughts, Dags?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things we can't ignore here is, Harmony. We've had issues. First it
Yeah.
was the RPC. We complained about it. I haven't had any issues with that until Friday, right? So it's like it's
Yeah.
not like the Harmony team doesn't fix things,
Yeah.
and I think they're going. I mean, they're going to get hurt. They're definitely going to get hurt. I think I mentioned that there was. I think Crypto Lamb had that Twitch stream where there was a round table with a bunch of with a Harmony rep and then a bunch of GameFi and um, project reps there. And out of that list, one of the groups that wasn't on there was DFK. So I don't know if DFK denied their. Yeah, and maybe we'll post that link in the description or something so that people can jump in. I think the actual roundtable starts at like an hour and 8 minutes. But I think they're assuming that if DFK didn't show up to something like that, they gotta anticipate that DFK is not staying on this chain.
Definitely not a good sign for them, because DFK itself right now I think is bigger than Harmony, and if they lose DFK, Harmony's existence is incredibly in question. They could literally just become one of these zombie chains out there that don't have any real development on them. Yeah,
Maybe
Harmony
not, but
is the most vulnerable I think at this point. I don't know. What do you
like
think, Dex?
they need to establish their existence separate of DFK if they want to survive anything. Because DFK, how long is that going to be good for? How long is this? What's the life of this project? Like you even look at things like whenever I think of like lifelines of a project, I think like World of Warcraft. Like what was it, like 5 years after they started, they were just kind of like prolonging a declining existence. So I mean, DFK is not going to be on top forever. And so like they do need to prepare for something like that, for the end of DFK. And this kind of had to that must have if it's me, I'm accelerating that preparation. Like, what's our plan? How do we survive without those assets? And it's gonna hurt if all DFK gets pulled out. It's gonna hurt. But if they can survive that, and they can survive this hack, and they can survive the RPC, like, damn, that's a good network. That's a good chain.
Very
You know,
true. Because
if if this is conditional, right?
yeah, very true. Because they
Yeah.
have recovered from a lot of those things you mentioned. I honestly kind of we push these things in the back so much. Once we're past them, the RPC, you mentioned. Once we're past it, we kind of are like, okay, like no more thought to that. Obviously, there's no need to give that energy. But when you come back and think of the things they have overcome, I mean, typically I was leaning towards. I loved Harmony, obviously. I mean, this is where DFK is housed. I was leaning towards thinking that Harmony could be a great chain. There was times in the past where I was like, let's fully move to AVAX. I don't fully trust it, Harmony, with all these issues and problems, but they do fix them, and I guess we'll have to see how they react to this. One thing I'll add here is, you mentioned if they do leave, will they become a zombie chain? They're gonna need another project to come out and really show themselves, improve themselves, and especially if they're gonna continue with this gaming chain. That's kind of their preface. They're the top gaming chain, I do believe, at the current moment. So if
Yeah, and
DFK,
AVAX kind of, is advertising themselves as that as well.
AVAX wants
And
that title.
right, and I mean, dude, it's no fucking secret. AVAX is the smoother chain.
agreed.
Um, but there could be incentives for projects to build on Harmony right now that AVAX doesn't provide, et cetera, et cetera. But if you can't provide security, then people are going to go with the chain that does have security. And I remember Squanch isn't here, but when Crystal Veil came out and how smooth everything was running on that subnet, he was a huge proponent of just getting DFK off of Harmony altogether. He had never been a fan of the Harmony chain, and he had always thought that was one of the blemishes of DFK. And I mean, I don't know. It could be coming to fruition. He could have foreshadowed, something pretty damaging here, but we'll just have to see what the team decides to do.
I mean,
Yeah,
once they fixed the RPC, I was like, all right, I like Harmony. It's easy for me to transfer assets from my bank account to one and then into DFK versus like, you know, there's some additional steps with AVAX, or should we be saying AVAX? You know, I'm a Midwesterner, it's
Yeah.
AVAX. Um,
Yeah.
but like there were some extra steps. I'm sure I could get used to it. But I mean, I like the cheap transactions. I like, and even now, like I said, I haven't had the speed issue. I haven't had anything to complain about until Friday, and now I see, you know, security or whatever, and everything slowed down while this exodus was happening. I mean, I'm not in love with Harmony. I'm just gonna follow the games that I play. I'm gonna follow them chain to chain. That's gonna be the end of it. But I don't hate Harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, getting to the incentive thing you mentioned, you know, a lot of the projects, and I'm not talking specifically about DFK, but some of these other projects in the space that I do follow did mention, you know, obviously the funding and the grants have been canceled or not, maybe not canceled, but postponed at least for the time being, you know. So a lot of them haven't received their funding. And just makes you wonder, you know, like, are they in a dangerous spot? Obviously, everything at the surface we know, you know, about the bridging hack and everything, but internally, I haven't listened to this roundtable, which I'm going to listen to after, and hopefully I could get a better understanding of everything going on. But you just wonder internally, are they worried? Like, are they more worried than they should be? You know, are they back against the wall? Are they thinking this is a like we were talking about before of a fight or flight response, you know, here? Are they prepared to do whatever it takes to keep this chain alive, potentially do whatever it takes to keep DFK on this chain? Because in my opinion, that's probably one of their biggest priorities. It should be one of their biggest priorities to keep the project that has kept them alive.
Yeah.
Well, DFK, they promised grants too. It's really easy to promise grants when Jules $20. Have any of those grants gone out? It's really easy to
Well,
True.
promise grants when one is 33 cents and now it's 2 cents.
they talk. Well, they talked about this in the AMA. Is that uh, for the builders program, DFK was planning to use a lot of the grant money they were going to be awarded from Harmony when they applied. Well, in the AMA, they said that Harmony were not going to get the grant money that they had thought from Harmony, so that means that their builders, their builder fund for, the grant for the builders, community builders, is not going to be as fruitful, and that they were talking about where they may have to reward builders and lock jewel, et cetera, just to, have that grant program alive, which they definitely are going to do. They're going to have it alive. It's just, there's not going to be as big rewards for these builders.
Leaning on grants to offer grants is paying off a credit card with a credit card.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money to offer grants without a grant, you shouldn't be offering grants.
It's a very good
Yeah.
point.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. It's like I said, they're looking into tipping into lock jewel to pay people, because they have a huge lock jewel fund apparently, and they're looking for utility for lock jewel. If we, from the last AMA, if we can talk about that later, but yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just a whole mess right now, and I don't know. I mean, it's I kind of want to see this game move to a better chain, to be honest. If I was to decide, if I had my call here, um, I would not want to keep it on the Harmony network. I would want them to see build up Crystal Vale, kind of get all the in-game functions that are in Serendale and Crystal Vale, and then move this thing onto it would be cool to see it on a layer 2, but another alternative layer 1 wouldn't be so bad either. So, that's my opinion.
I got one final thought on that. I mean, one of the biggest issues with moving over to another chain is DFK. They have transaction fees for every action. You know, some of the other games, I won't mention them because it's not their podcast, whatever, but they're talking about doing like batch transactions, right? Where all your actions are built under a batch and then you're charged that one transaction fee, which I could see working for Avalanche. I don't see every single DFK transaction being charged unless it's in the DFK net, because those jewel fees are pretty cheap. If it ends
Yeah.
up being something like AVAX to pay for transactions, this is gonna get real expensive real quick.
I think their whole idea would to be build a subnet on another chain. I think they saw that coming, and that's why they did it in Crystal Vale as like a proof of concept type of thing. Just so if when they do move to another chain, they're like, look, we can move our game over here, build a subnet, have our transactions much cheaper, etc. So I think that's in their mind. They've been planning that, hopefully.
Yeah, when you come back and look at Crystal Vale now, it's almost like a blessing in disguise. I mean, obviously there wasn't a lot of utility put there immediately. We do have hero summoning, um, have a lot of other things as well. Questing is coming. We'll get to that. But having this overall, the subnet ready to go, is pretty damn huge when something like this occurs. You know, you don't have to rely on Harmony. You're not really in the situation a lot of these other projects are where they have to move or they have to wait out and just see what Harmony does. I mean, they have the ability to just completely up and I mean, obviously Serendale, the map and everything is still on Harmony currently, but they could put that on the back burner for the time being, move all the quests and everything that they were planning on doing, put that in here, potentially get duels here as well, and just temporarily house the main parts of DFK in Crystal Vale. So pretty interesting stuff.
That's another thing we talked about like a little bit before the podcast is like just how unfortunate this is. Like every time this team does something, cool, gets the community excited, there seems to be some major, type of situation that regresses the hype, such as when they built Crystal Vale, like hype was incredibly high, and then shortly after the mining exploit came out, and then everybody was, fearful that, activity, they thought that the, the devs were exploiting a mining hack, and which none of that ever came true or to fruition. And but huge community leaders were out there like expressing FUD with no backing. It was just, it was unfortunate the team had to go through that. Um, something that should have been fixed a long time ago. Not gonna, disagree on that, but there was definitely some accusations that were not uh, warranted at the team. And then, we get Duels out. Community loves Duels. All the reviews on Duels has been fantastic. And then we have this bridging exploit on Harmony. It's like these guys can't catch a break.
Yeah, all this does for me is push PvP back another. What is it gonna be? PvP 2024. I'll be here.
we'll be here. Hope to see many of you guys sticking through. Now, hopefully not 2024. You know that'd be a really rough spot. I'm still, I guess, hopium. The hopium is within me, but I'm really hoping to see it before the end of 2022. In all honesty, I think that'd be a really bright spot, as hyped up and as elaborate as it sounds and even looks. And we'll go over some third party uh, programs and software that some other community members have made, but I think this is again is above and beyond all those third party and community created projects. So we need PvP eventually, but getting into what the dev team here released just right after everything went down. They did drop a dev update here yesterday on Friday. Very short, but some good information here. So, but getting into it here, guys, with the dev update, the first thing they mention here is about the Raffle Master feature. This was supposed to be live Friday, pending Friskies checks and quality assurance and quality testing. This was supposed to be live Friday to see the raffles, see the rewards that you could potentially get from these raffles, but granted everything that has occurred, this is pushed back. The next thing they mention here is something huge in my opinion. Crystal Vale Profession quests coming hopefully sooner rather than later, especially now with all this news. How big do you guys think this is for them to bring these quests onto Crystal Vale?
Well, bigger now than it was, a week ago, for sure. The sooner they can get those quests over to Crystal Vale, the smoother a possible transition away from Harmony could be. But I don't. It's just also the additional profession quest is going to build a lot of hype because there's going to be new items that you'll be able to get. Will help with expand the crafting abilities. New eggs possibly in these profession quests. That you can obtain. So I think it's just going to be something that will hype up the game, and I want those profession quests to come sooner than later. Um, and maybe we can use these pets in these profession quests, which would be great. But as we were talking about with the uh the dev update, this is stuff, this raffle stuff going on Friday. Yeah, I doubt that was probably going to happen after the exploit, and I think that this team has done a really good job about being transparent, and I just want to say, like, there's going to be either the AMA on Monday or at some point before that possibly they're going to hold some kind of meeting, community meeting, where they're going to discuss everything about what they're pushing back because of the exploit and what they're going to do about it.
Definitely. Before we get your opinion on this, Dags, they did also drop this in the AMA. The DFK, what do you call it, community feedback site here. So you can do proposals, requests, just general ideas, a bunch of stuff here. Throw in your AMA questions as well. I believe this is where they're going to be housing their AMA questions for the future. So definitely, if you have any, put them in here. If you have any suggestions as well, be sure to put them in the DefiKingdoms suggestion channel. That's where they're going to be taking an eye on a lot of things as well as this here. So, but overall,
Can we get to that from the DFK page,
I
like the main homepage? If not, can we like link that in the description so I have a place to get to it?
yeah, definitely. I'll throw it on in the group chat
Nice
here
map
first
on
as
the
well.
banner.
Yeah,
Look at
dude,
that too.
that looks pretty sweet. Potentially actual
Yeah.
like map of Serendale and Crystal Vale in relation to where they are. Pretty cool. But yeah, so what do you think here, Dags? How big is this for you to have
Yeah,
these
yeah,
quests?
it's huge because two things. One, for these profession quests, gas is in Jewel, not one. It's not in AVAX. It's not in one. It's in Jewel.
Good
So
point.
I think that I want to get they probably want to get these quests going as fast as possible so that they can get some Jewel burn out of it or whatever. I don't know if it's burned or redistributed. I can't remember. Um, and then the second thing I kind of wanted to bring up, I posted it in the Discord this morning, is if you run a quest in Serendale and you let it finish, sorry, my kids are messing with the thing. I don't know if that went through the wall or whatever. Anyway, if you let a quest finish in Serendale, you can go over to Crystal Vale, and I don't know if it's in beta or if it's in the main game, but you can see a resolve stuck quests. So I mean, if you have a finished quest, I don't know if you have any active quests if they're finished. You can actually see that button to resolve a quest.
They're not
Yeah.
finished yet, but let's see if it still
So it
shows
might
up.
be closer than we think. Well, I there it is.
It still
Yeah.
does show up. So yeah, I mean that very well. You noticed that before we hopped on the recording here. That very well could be them implementing some things and getting us ready for those quests even this weekend. That'd be huge, huge impact and positive impact for the community. And just to kind of walk over that harmony bullshit, get us to some more positivity. It would be absolutely amazing. So. But let's see here. What else do we have? This is also huge here. So we have the Solidity team still working on the item bridge. Also the contracts for those level 10 profession quests. So again, these ones, the Crystal Vale profession quest mentioned up here are just the simple, I do believe the simple mining, foraging, gardening, and fishing. And then these, we don't know what these are going to entail yet, these level 10 profession quests completely. We'll have to see if there's more items, maybe longer questing time. Like I was even thinking, what if it was a quest you could run for 23 hours and then you only have to quest once a day, uses up all that 25 stamina in that period or something, but gives heavier rewards. That'd be pretty sweet. We'll have to see overall, but good to know that they're still working on that, especially with this whole thing. We're gonna need to get our items over there. As of now, you can bridge tiers, heroes, and tokens. but no items. So definitely need that here. Let's see what else we have. Some profile achievements, pretty cool. Nothing too huge though. And again, they say they'll put these to use at a later time. Art team has been hard at work for the green and yellow eggs. This is pretty cool. First off, looks like a gardening pet. Green egg pet it even mentions right here. So, but this bonus is new. We haven't seen this yet. Could it be potentially a better chance at getting eggs, or maybe I don't know. It could be anything really. Do you guys have any ideas on what this could be, or have you guys heard anything?
No, I don't. I wonder why it's a gold egg. That's interesting.
Right.
Um, I don't know what it could be. I don't know if it's like, it. Yeah, I mean, my best guess would be it would improve your chances of getting an egg, but I honestly don't know. What do you think, Dags?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's like they complained about, when we had the Easter event increasing the chance of finding an egg. Are they gonna complain about this pet too?
Oh
I mean,
God,
what
that
the
was
heck?
another FUD cycle.
Here we go, right? I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for someone to complain about one of these skills, and it's like so far we've had nothing because we don't know what they do, but I don't know. Yeah, and they would need. I mean, looking at the screen right now, need to add another filter there, but I'm sure they would do that anyway when those green eggs come out.
Yeah, definitely. Just was wondering. I mean, we don't even know what goldsmithing is, so that's when you did mention it was a gold egg. I didn't even really realize that in my first look through, but
Yeah.
um, so I mean, still up for debate. I mean, that's another thing. Some people have complained that there is no utility for pets yet. I love them. I think they're really cool. Then again, prices as far as they go is the market overall as far as pets go. It's a little weird because we don't know what they're gonna do. We don't know really how strong they're gonna be and whether they're over or underpriced currently. But I love the pets. I'm hoping to see green and yellow soon as well. But at the time being, I think we have priorities to figure out questing in Crystal Vale. Obviously, PvP is still up there, and level 10 profession quest would be pretty sweet as well. But I was hyped yesterday. I tried questing. I couldn't quest at all. Tried bridging. My I couldn't get through. In all honesty, I did bridge my jewel over today. Left a little bit. Was able to get these quests done, and my foraging and fishers are done as well. So I, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see what Harmony approaches, how they approach this situation, and hopefully we can remain on Serendale, or excuse me, remain on Harmony for Serendale, but hopefully with some more security. These are people's real life funds at hand, and that should be at the forefront of their list. So, anything else in this dev update here that we missed? Let's see.
Did the dark summoning?
Dude, they talked about that in the AMA too. Dude, that sounds so dope. Go ahead and Dags and take it. I'm sure. I mean,
I didn't really research it.
okay.
Was that the one where they were? I'll let you
I'll
take
tell
it.
you. I'll tell you about it then. So they are obviously people have been wondering about hero burn, right? Like we had the perilous journey, but they can't have a perilous journey like all the time to continually burn heroes. So what they're going to do is they're going to implement a dark summon where the idea is just they kind of said it's like with the pets where you trade in two pets to get a better pet. Well, you can sacrifice, I don't know, a blood ritual or something. Who the fuck knows? To heroes at a chance of getting a better hero. And they clearly said that it was a chance to get a better hero. So maybe if you sacrifice two commons, you got a much higher chance of getting an uncommon, or if you, whatever, something like that. So a good way to burn heroes. I think it's, excellent. And I don't know if it's going to cost Duel or whatever, but it's just another cool creative idea. And they're like, the whole lore is it's going to send essences back to the inner growth. So that's how they're going to kind of build it in the lore.
That sounds sweet. I forgot about that portion in the AMA, but just another pool for burning of heroes. Frisky mentioned I believe it was Frisky. He mentioned a stat about Axie Infinity, another leading DFKGaming who also had an unfortunate thing happen recently. They had over half of their funding, over their overall user base, half of their users left Axie Infinity most recently, like I believe in the last week or so. They had over 2 million users, and they're down to 900,000. I'm not in the community, so I don't know specifically what caused that. Could be just the bear market overall, but it's crazy to see that overall. But I forget what I was getting at there with that. But regardless, that's what I was getting at. The amount of Axies in the community is insane. I believe I can't remember the exact figure, but we're only at 200,000 roughly, minus the heroes that we lost in Perilous Journey. And some people think that's too many already, but compared to where Axie's at, it's really not that much. And Frisky even mentioned we have a lot of room to grow to get to that point. So,
right.
Interesting.
If you think about it, think about how many heroes you need to appropriately do all the profession quests at optimal efficiency, right? Well, you're going to need to duplicate that in Crystal Vale as well, in theory. And then you're going to have level 10 quests. So you'll have heroes that, will do the level 10 quests and get other resources. And then PvE comes in. You'll have characters that, you need to do the PvE quest. So you can quickly see where most people, if they want to acquire resources in this game at, a real efficient manner, are going to need like 40, 50 heroes. So I think we're far from being needed, having saturation of heroes. But I think the burning mechanic is a really good idea, because at one point you are going to hit that saturation point. It's good to have mechanisms in place to prevent that.
Definitely. But it is interesting to see here, with the duels, a great feature that was released. Badly timed, of course. You can't see the future, and we didn't know all this Harmony stuff was going to go on. But duels are here. I was loving them. I streamed them for a little bit. Didn't get to stream them the night of release, but did stream a little bit over the weekend, and it was a fun time. Got some wins. I don't know why my Harmony is bugging out on me, but it was functioning pretty easily early. But now I can't seem to show.
Yeah, no, Harmony's been bugging for me all morning. I have not been able to accomplish, approve a contract since this morning. I've switched from mainnet to Pocket to Hermes. I've tried.
Oh, I am. I was on Universe earlier, so let me give this a try.
Yeah, I'm sure when you came from Crystal Vale, you got switched back to mainnet.
Yeah, see, look at that. All these were not loading immediately. Universe seems to be the strongest one currently, pretty instantly. I'm going to send my good friend Dags here a duel, just so you guys can see if anyone hasn't watched. I'm sure most of you guys with heroes have already participated in a few duels. But look away, Dags. Don't see what heroes I'm going to be sending at you, bud.
I already sent you one.
Oh, you sent me one. So where do I find these active duels? Is it in View Duels? Oh, okay.
Oh, there it is.
Baby, there's Farley Justman. You better hope agility is that has like 37 agility.
So he's sending the island squad at me. Man. Okay, so I don't know any of your heroes, obviously. I'm sure if I really wanted to, if you're really crazy about it, you could pull up your friend's account and you could find those exact heroes and see, maybe match up a little better. But I'm just going to go with my strongest 3v3 squad, the one I've been running typically. And you're in here, so you already sent me the challenge. You already threw your heroes at me. So typically I run this Swamp Strength squad. It is all random in essence, but of course, like we've went over, you have one boost that gets randomly selected, one background that gets randomly selected, and then
the real tax.
So one of my wallets was already labeled Dags, and then this is my treasure. So it's like my treasure wallet. I couldn't name it Dags. Somebody already took my name, and so I put a fine. I'm going to be the real Dags, and then I found out the person who took my name was me.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
While that's loading, there are Twitter's a great spot for like trying to find some strategy on this. I know there's that guy DFK. I don't know how you say that. NOUS. Like he's always posting duels analytics and stuff like that. And there was another guy who actually did all the calculations and found out that it's more productive if you want your rank to go up to do 1v1 instead of 3v3 or 9v9 because the penalties aren't as harsh for 1v1 and the rewards are higher. So there's some math behind it. It was on Twitter. I couldn't find it. I don't know who posted it, but that is information out there. And I wonder if the team will make changes based on that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I think so.
So here's the battle. If you guys haven't seen it live yet.
Technically, this is all preseason.
So he catches me on the base strength.
You got me.
Oh, but I get the background. But the 12 boost from Dark beating what is my type? Rock, I believe. Earth. Man.
Yeah, Earth.
So he edges me out. Look at the swing there, though. Like just within that first battle, you see the swing. It is pretty entertaining. I mean, it is all RNG, but 2 PJ heroes going at it here. He's got the background. Oh, and we cancel out on the abilities. So light and dark don't seem to affect each other. I'm still learning all the types, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well. Looks like we're 1-1 going into the last round here. Neither of us are going to get the background here.
The mountain background's sick.
Agility. Give me a break.
It's lightning versus earth. Let's see who edges it out. Oh! Yeah, lightning typically does not affect earth, as we know from Pokemon, so... So Dags will get this dub here, but, I mean, just in that brief fight, this was... I mean, typically it's not commentated if you're just playing by yourself, but it's pretty fun. Like, I'm entertained when I play these duels. Obviously, you have to use resources. You have to use Jewel and Gold. This one, different story. It's just a private, so we didn't have to use anything. But I've completed a lot over the last few days. A lot of L's right there, but you know, they're fun. Solos, I have noticed that there's a lot of overpowered heroes. I have a pretty low hero pool, you know, just 12 heroes. Some strong ones, almost a level 10, but there is some strong heroes out there, guys. So be wary when you're into these duels, but they're a lot of fun. Have you guys been enjoying them?
I mean, I was trying to play them Friday, but with the whole network thing, I was having a hard enough time just getting my money out of the gardens, and I eventually did. And then this morning I was trying to play them, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it has to do with my treasure, but yeah, I can't. I'm just not able to approve any contracts at the moment, so I've got to. I don't know. Maybe I need to update my browser or something. But yeah, that looked. I mean, I can see why people are hyped about it on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely.
It looked nice. Nice interface, you know, attractive layout, you know, artistically well done. Team always seems to pull that off. So yeah, I wanna run some, but bearing technology mishaps, we'll see.
Dags, have you been running a lot? I know you got a pretty good hero pool over there. So how's your squad been competing out there?
My squads are awful because I min max, and this is built for balanced heroes. So yeah, I mean I got that island squad or whatever. Most of my heroes have pretty high either endurance or vitality, so I usually end up picking that one. But I just I'm so min max. Like my ninjas are all like dexterity, luck, and agility, and that's just not good for for this game, especially with the random rolls. Like I need more like calculated. I don't know, like using the hero abilities instead of just randomization.
Isn't it crazy? Like just I don't know, 3-4 months ago, the whole meta was like, oh, you know, level up the certain skills for these certain types of heroes all the way to the max, right? And just fuck everything else. And now with arena, with this, it's like it's beneficial for your heroes to be pretty even keel across everything. Nothing has rewarded mid-maxing at all so far in this game. So maybe that changes with PvE, PvP, but Yeah, as of right now, it looks like the early meta for how to level up heroes is fucking everybody.
Yeah, it seems we're kind of in like a almost a monk meta. Those balanced stats go a long way, especially just in duels. But I think it's going to be a lot different for PvP. Obviously, I'm just throwing a few out while we talk. We're also going to jump over and view another use of these heroes. Um, in DFK Club, DFK Fight Club. One man show currently, I do believe. I'm going to give credit to the creator down below because I don't have his name off the top of my head. He is in the server. I'll include that link as well. But I'm going to show you guys a video here. Well, first off, here's the official Twitter showing a graphic about what's possible, how it works, kind of. I'll go through this briefly and then show you guys the video of how the fight goes about. So each turn, each player chooses one action. You have attacks, which deal extra damage with your front character's auto attack. You can swap positions, moving your front character to the back line or mid line, or vice versa. You can choose to use a skill, which I believe is charged up with an energy bar, similar to some other games in that sense, you know. You have your mega skill that you boost up over time, and you can use it, and it's usually pretty powerful. So you can only use front or mid character skills, it looks like. And then you can also choose to interrupt, which is kind of like I look at it as like almost like a protect from Pokemon. I compare a lot of this to Pokemon because it's kind of the same idea. So you can protect, I guess not really protect though, because you choose a hero on the enemy team to interrupt whatever they're going to do. So especially if they're going to use a skill, it stops that skill. But if they were just going to swap positions with someone, interrupting that enemy is almost a misplay, you know. So there's a lot of variability in these games, and it's honestly very intriguing. Um, I'll show you guys here in a second. Here's the turn priority. You guys can go through all this um, whenever you need, if you choose to look into it. I'm going to pull up the video here for you guys of some gameplay. Give me 1 second. And here's the Discord. Oops. So everything's done in the Discord, which is kind of interesting. So you are prompted with commands, and you can choose again to swap positions, use a skill, use the fierce attack, or interrupt an opponent. This is running in the background, so we'll full screen this. This is just turn one. There's a lot of UI things that could be fixed, but just to have a game like this is pretty outstanding, especially it being a one-man show, which we found out. I know neither of you guys have played. I haven't played myself either. I have been in the server. But what's your guys' first impressions? How do you guys like it?
So, from a gamer standpoint, I think this is kind of interesting because it kind of changes what it's different from what the team's plan is. So the team's plan was like that Gambit system, Final Fantasy 12. This is more of a Darkest Dungeon take. I don't know if you guys have played Darkest Dungeon, seen Darkest Dungeon, but you have your squad and your position kind of determines your role or what actions you can do. Even your moves, like you have certain moves that you can only do if you're in row 2 or 3, versus you have a different action that you can do if you're in row 1 and you actually pick that action instead of it being, you know, a gambit or probability based. So it does change the combat a little, but haven't gotten into these. I've seen a lot of positive reviews from a few of the people that I follow on Twitter. And I like that. I like that they're kind of building the skills. They're making their own skills, doing their own thing. And I may be wrong on this, but they don't have advanced heroes or elite heroes or is it transcendent? Is that what it's
Yeah, exalted.
exalted? They don't have those in yet. And so like if you're looking at the animation and not being that impressed, well, they got to get those other classes in before they fine tune this animation. But I think it's a really cool system. I don't know if anyone's played like Poke 2 or something like that, but the whole battle system is run through Discord. And that's kind of nice because you're using your resources that you already have to kind of give players a means to use their heroes. So honestly, anything that improves the use or expands on the use of hero cards, I am all for.
Yeah, yeah. This that definitely, like, what's out is just a proof of concept. And imagine if, you know he gets some developers to help him with this. They think it's cool, and they're like, man, we'd love to help on that. This thing could really, improve. Um, But this is like what the whole DFK, part of their vision was to get community members to build things to make heroes utility, increase. Have people building, mini games and things for heroes and pets, and that's coming to fruition as we see with Arena, we see with this. Um, and that's the whole point of the grant program, was to incentivize people to do this. So we'll see. I hope that this type of activity continues with DFK and people keep on building for the utility of the NFTs. But yeah, this is a good sign, and I've seen on Twitter a lot of people talking about metas for Fight Club, and what they're doing, and discussing it, etc. So it's been cool to see.
And there is an animator out there, a YouTube animator, just trying to, I mean, he's just learning. You can kind of tell with some of the animations, but he's also doing like pre-made battles with the hero cards. And I was trying to find it. I think I posted it in general chat, but I mean, if we throw that up there, like it essentially is. Oh, I say this nicely, but like because he's an amateur, I feel like he's an amateur animator, but it's like a watered down version of what I'm expecting for PvP.
So look at this. I just want to note here that you're on the Jewelers Twitter page, right, Mega?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're not following Raph from the Adventures. Yeah, there we go.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry, Raph.
I mean,
There we go.
My
We had the box
apologies.
side guys there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raph's a good
Okay.
dude.
Yep.
Had,
We corrected that.
had his tweet up here too because it mentions the meta here, and that's funny that I had his exact tweet up too. But it mentions the meta here and also mentions what you said, Dags. I thought for a second this was bottom tier, but then I realized it said not in game yet. I was like, how are Sage and Dread Knight? But okay, it's not in game. So these three aren't in yet. I'm assuming they just don't have abilities set for their specific classes. And then once they do, or maybe maybe it's a balance thing. I don't know. Again, it's a one-man show, and he's doing great work. But here's the S tier list: is Monk, Paladin, Archer, and Warriors currently, with Ninjas sitting in the A tier list.
baby.
Dark Knight, Dragoon, Pirate, and Wizards round up the B tier, and then Knight Priests and Thieves round up the C tier here. So
Dragoons are roided monks. So a dragoon being ranked lower than a monk, I don't know how I feel about that. But like, I think monk is one of my. I'm really interested in the monk and the dragoon classes. So I'm happy to see that. And the ninjas up there.
yeah, that's pretty sweet.
I posted that animation. I don't know if you want to pull that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up right now. I was trying to find the skill list. The sound is on. I'm gonna mute it just in case there's any copyright. But this is from OX Stay Mellow.
And even got the cards. I mean, it's like I said, I think he's just beginner level animation. But the fact that the community's doing stuff like this.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's really
neat,
cool.
dude.
Oh my god.
And I mean, if you look at the limbs, some of them curve in weird ways, but who cares? I mean, that's sweet. Look at that.
Wow, I am impressed.
That's what we're seeing in PvP.
Dan.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
If
what
some.
the fuck you doing, DFK?
Wow, dude, look at that.
Get this person on your payroll.
I mean, we can link the channel too.
Yeah, definitely. He deserves our sub here today for sure.
Yeah.
This little, oh my god, and then the double team type move. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Even down to this UI. I mean, this is just clean and fits the DFK theme. You know, it's pretty perfect. This is wow. This is what you want to see from your community.
Yeah. Shout out to Stay Mellow.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he talks about here, but just in case for I don't want our video to get shut down.
That guy.
Seriously. I'm going to link this down and his channel as well. I'm going to link this down below here for you guys. Definitely check this out. So he's just testing animations, basically. He's running through using these heroes and creating some animations. Is he building a game, do we know? Like, is this a different... Because, I mean, that was just a fight scene. That could have been a game in and of itself.
I think he explains it. I think he said, like, oh, I'm getting new with the tools, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I mean, those animations might be too intense for, like, some of this 8-bit stuff. But, I mean, when we saw the sample of PvP, they took it out of this 8-bit graphic and they upped it a bit to match more like how the central market looks. It was that kind of animation.
Right.
If you go to Duels, you see that screenshot. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, impressive though, very impressive, and
Very impressive.
doing stuff like this. You know, even DFK arenas and we won't talk about Fight Club. You know, like even them doing that, like impressive. This is what we want. We want community involvement. We want community doing their own things, and it's like it just reminds me of a mod community. And some of the games that have longevity, Skyrim, Total War, Age of Empires, those games have insane modding communities. And that's where you get life. You gotta let your community do stuff like this. And so hopefully DFK can see this and hopefully they applaud it or give them shout outs or some kind of recognition.
For sure.
We need it. We need to keep
Imagine a match made in heaven here with this man and DFK Fight Club. I mean, DFK Fight Club has a great idea. Imagine implementing these graphics and making that just even more beautiful to play. You know, this could, if I would love to see this dude on the actual DFK team. Like, don't get me wrong, but if for some reason they have a full house, they don't have enough room to add another body, you know, get this dude involved with DFK Fight Club, improve that, improve just these community built projects that could really, like you said, take this project down a great and long journey of prosperity. So I love this. I've never seen this before. Agentic, it didn't sound like you saw it either. Great find.
Not at all.
Great find, Dags, and big shout out to this guy.
ignoring me in the chat.
Dude, honestly, like my job's changed, so I have not been, and I apologize to the server, I have not been as vocal in the server or anything like that. I used to be able to be on my phone somewhat throughout the day. Now my job's a little different, so and I'm starting out, so I don't want to push too many buttons just yet. But yeah, so I do apologize for ignoring you, if anything, Dags. But let's see.
I was a teacher.
I will say too, like I picked up a new job very late February, so since March it's been harder for me to be as active in the community because my new job, though it's I it's I do have work from home 3 days a week where I didn't in my old job. Uh, it is more cognitively intensive, and it's just I don't have as much like my older job. I could dick around a lot more. This one I definitely can't. So there's one reason that I just have not been as present posting in the Discord. So
All good, all good.
Job on the 11th. So if I taper off, guys, Squanch got a new job. Everybody got a new job.
We'll have to allocate some shifts or something. When are you available? You got to be in the Discord, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing shifts.
That moderator.
Yeah, the guy reached out to us.
No, but in all honesty, I mean, we are still in a bear market, and the community is holding itself up pretty good. You know, we're not as active in the server as with as much being released. You know, there's not as much new stuff coming out. I mean, Pets was awesome. We were showcasing those for a while. Duels was pretty cool, but I guess it was kind of ended. It wasn't ended, but you know, with this new news and with Harmony, kind of puts a little damper on that bright spot as far as duels go. But once PvP comes, I expect that the Twitter community, the Discord communities, all to be super active and put their heart back into this game. You know, so interesting stuff.
Run those duels.
Oh yeah, let's see what we got. Good call, good call. That one's, I sent you one, and it looks like it's awaiting response. If anyone's wondering, big help for me. I forget who told me, but Control F on here goes a long way. When things aren't working, just Control F that, Little John, and it really helps. It typically makes things okay. What's going on here? Oh, I gotta add a hero. Duh.
All right, I guess I have to hit fight on my end, so
Wait.
I'll accept yours.
Private duel.
Real Dags, will you please stand up?
So it looks like this is another one I'm gonna send. This guy's pretty strong, pretty average, pretty balanced.
I guess I guess Dags, we need to get you verified on Twitter so everybody knows it's the real Dags.
I mean, there's a million other dags out there who, you know, they walk like me, talk like me, just don't give an F like me, but they're just not me.
They're all about PvP like you.
All about
everything.
PvP like me. Oh, capitalizing on that.
Man, I'm just so.
Seen 8-bit before. Jaws on the floor. No,
You might have something there, Dags. Honestly, you might have to put a little behind the scenes work and have a little hit single coming. Remix.
We're gonna see multiple Twitter accounts with the unicorn chicken with rainbow hair.
I got 3 more of those. I
gotta say, it's an iconic profile picture for sure.
Let's see. Uh-oh, you got the mountains. I do have the early lead.
Oh, it's Element. Fire versus what?
Oh, Oh!
No!
Let's go. I beat the real Dags. I needed one of those. Just to say it's done.
Right,
I don't know how many more. Let's go. As you see, guys. Perfect. I'll run it.
There was another one.
As you see, like, those are no rewards, no buy-in, nothing like that. Of course, you could have a gentleman's agreement and bet offline if you wanted. But I did actually, that brings up another thought. You guys talked about in the last stream, how are they going to reward Duel in these PvP fights? And the reason, we talked about it briefly in the group chat, the reason they weren't able to reward Duel, I do believe, or the reason we were looking into creating a tournament and potentially having prizes for it. But the thing with that is when it's something that's completely random, when there's no skill aspect attached to it, and there really, in essence, is not. They're really,
it's considered
gambling.
Yeah,
it's considered gambling, exactly.
Subject to all sorts of laws.
Mm-hmm.
If it does require some skill, then you can get away with it not being gambling, and then the amount of laws that are restrictive on it are far less. So, yep.
So, like, that most likely is the reason why. Oh my god, this Farley Justman, get this dude out of here.
You're in trouble.
42. How you gonna do me like that, bro? We saw the result already, but
my favorite here.
he's a beast.
The damn male ninja.
GG's, bro. GG's. Dags takes the series 2 out of 3. But yeah, so like, I know DFK Fight Club, while we're on the topic, was doing a little bit of a fight night thing. I thought that was really cool. I believe they Twitch streamed it and just showcased a few matchups. So just anything to really just get more, community involvement and reach, and it's just big for the project overall. So hoping to see many more quality projects like DFK Fight Club, like this guy who's animating like a madman, even if he is a beginner, he says. Man, he's doing some great stuff over there. So I think we just about covered everything we had on the show sheet here. Was there anything else you guys wanted to touch on?
One more. We definitely need to talk about Lock Duel, because that was
for sure
addressed in the last AMA. So for those that, we all know that the question of what the hell is the team gonna do when Duel becomes unlocked has been a reoccurring question on the last several AMAs. Team has been kind of, just saying, yeah, we have a committee talking about it. That's basically all they've said. Well, we got a little information in the last AMA of what they're going to do about the unlocked Duel. Honestly, I think it's a good plan. They are going to focus on letting us utilize our locked Duel in game. So using our locked Duel to do quests, using our locked Duel to do duels or whatever. Like, I don't know why I said quest, but using our locked Duel to do, if it's on Crystal Vale, it could be, I guess it'd be locked Crystal, and then, but anyway, using our locked Duel to do duels can be used as rewards for Duel or for duels, etc. So they're looking to make locked Duel an in-game asset with utility, and then that way it's burned as it's, why it's locked. So then the unlocking is a lot less impactful on the community. I think it's a great idea. Oh, they talked about maybe using Lock Jewel for summoning, Lock Jewel for dark summoning when that comes out. So I think I like the idea. I think it's really I think it's a great possible solution, and everybody wins because burning Jewel helps those that are holding Jewel. So
My only issue with that is like you can't transfer. It's either you transfer all your lock jewel or you transfer none of it. So if it's going to act like a usable token, if I have a different wallet, like I can't even transfer my crystal veils locked crystal yet, but it's like if there's going to be what are I don't even know how to word this. Like if you're going to treat it like a usable asset, it needs to be able to move like a usable asset.
right, yeah. I'm sure that they're gonna work on developing the contracts for that. They also talked about paying community members in Lock Jewel to do development. That was another thing, and we mentioned that earlier in the podcast. So not sure how many people will value that, but if that Lock Jewel gives you the ability to do tasks such as summon, such as participate in duels, other mini games, etc., then that may be exchangeable for items or something, things of that nature. Uh, it it could be worth, some community members will value it as some sort of payment.
Mm-hmm. They must not have liked my idea for like guild tiers and
Oh, they talked
land
about
tiers.
so they talked about that too. So they talked about how well they talked about guilding and like how they're gonna set up uh combat for guilds in the AMA. So they mentioned like they're working on or wanting to do features where like there is a like 9-on-9 PvP, right? And people from your guild choose their best heroes, and then your guild goes against another guild. So they did talk about that. I can't remember if they mentioned Lock Jewel as anything being used for guilds, but yeah, that idea that you had was really really good. Maybe they do implement it.
Yeah, I
And
love
for
that
those that don't know,
suggestion.
what was your for those that don't know, would you repeat what your Lock Jewel for guild plan was, Dags?
Sure. So they were looking for ideas of what to do with Locked Jewel, and trying to incentivize people for holding it. So I just threw out an idea of maybe you have guilds, have certain features for guilds that are unlocked as your guild holds more and more Locked Jewel, and having features for land that unlock as you have more and more Locked Jewel.
I
Yeah,
think,
DFK team. So if you hear this, consider.
yeah,
And we did
definitely.
submit a suggestion for it.
Good,
So we'll see
good.
if they read that or not.
Hopefully they got eyes and ears on it now. So I think that's a wonderful suggestion, Dags. I do remember hearing that in the last podcast. It's an interesting thing, like we do these podcasts, but when you do miss a week, it's really like I was so excited to listen to the podcast, like just to hear what you guys talked about. Like I don't know if you guys, I mean, Agentic, I think you've been here for almost every podcast, which that's
I think I'm
reliability.
I think I'm the only one that's been here for every one of them.
100%.
I'll miss one day, but
You'll
as
get
of
that
right now,
feeling. You'll get that feeling of just, damn, my boys dropped a podcast, dude. Like, it was a good feeling to listen through. It was a great podcast from you guys. Another great one in the books here today. Is there any other final thoughts? Anything we forgot to include here? I
I
think
got nothing. I think it
I've
was
said my piece.
me too. I think I got everything covered here and crossed off. So, jewelers, we appreciate it. Stay strong in these tough times. Keep your brothers and sisters um, happy and healthy. Take care of one another. Be kind. One of the most important things, in my opinion. A lot of tough things going on in the world overall. We're not even going to get into some other things, but just some crazy stuff in the world overall. So just be sure to pick your brothers and sisters up here. Hope you guys
what
enjoy. Go on.
what a day for rulings in our government to drop the same day as the whole Harmony hack. It was a crazy day yesterday. But yeah.
It really
anyway.
was, dude. Like at work, all the crypto stuff's going on. I'm trying to check Twitter as much as I can to get as much info as I can. You get home, I was on my crypto Twitter, which is interesting. I keep almost all politics off my crypto Twitter, and then my main Twitter, you have your news feeds and everything like that. So, I mean, we're not even going to get into it, but I didn't even know some of the rulings that went on until I got home, and then that on top of Harmony, oh my gosh, it was just insanity yesterday, but again, try to keep a level head out here, guys. A lot's going on. Try to stay focused in your overall game plans. Again, this is not financial advice from us, but try to be smart and not be too greedy. There's a lot of uh, uncertainty in today's crypto market. So just be safe. Take care of yourselves. Um, if you guys have any other questions you want us to cover in the next podcast, definitely include them in the Discord server. That's always in the description. Other than that, until next time, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day in the kingdom, and we'll see ya.
Peace.